In one of my previous videos, we covered an overweight girl that was saying how she's very muscular, healthy, and fit.
I've been working out since I was like 10 years old. I just hate BMI so much because I am very heavy, because I'm very muscular.
And for that reason, many people in the comments was killing her saying, no, you cannot be fat and fit. Which, to some people's surprise, I actually don't agree with that. So firstly, I do believe you can be fat and fit, but I don't believe that if you're really overweight, you can be healthy, because even though health and fitness often get put together all the time, they're not exactly the same. For example, this woman here, she thinks because she exercises that she's not obese, but she is. Because you can be physically fit when it comes to being strong or having very good cardio endurance, but even if you are those things, that doesn't necessarily push away all the potential health risks that come along with being quite overweight, especially when it's due to excess body fat. And I came across this video and it perfectly encapsulated what I was kind of getting at. The video is titled Too Fat to Cycle.
I'll be the first person to admit it. I'm not your typical road cyclist. Firstly, I'm not in my 20s. I'm not even in my 30s or 40s. Plus, I'm big and heavy. In other words,
Firstly, shout out to this guy. He don't care about his age, don't care about his weight. He's out there doing what he loves. And this guy in particular actually really reminds me of an overweight client I used to have. He's actually the one I referenced in one of the previous videos. He was the one with the doctor recommending he lose weight to help him kind of be able to have kids. He was in the 300 pounds range. So I used to really be super astonished at how much he would bike ride. Like, I'd check his Instagram page and he'd be riding bikes all over the city for hours, up and down hills. So he was very physically fit in regards to cardio endurance, but that didn't make him healthy, and he knew it, the doctor knew it, which is why he wanted to make a change. So this is why I do believe you can be fit and fat, but probably not healthy. So as I am in real life trying to sell my car, I'll use this analogy that I've just somewhat come up with. Think of your body as a high performance car, and you've got that strong engine in that's helping, it's strong, it's getting you moving. But if the tires are all worn out and the brake pads are getting thin, if all those things don't get addressed and you just leave them unchecked, in time the car is going to start having some issues, even if you are souping up and making sure the engine is really good. Being fit is basically having that strong engine, but being healthy would be looking after the whole car, so making sure that you're getting it serviced and you're looking after all the little areas overall around the whole thing. So yes, be fit, be strong, but also make sure that you keep an eye on your actual health as well. Don't just think because you can run or do whatever for a long period of time doesn't mean you're automatically healthy. And that goes for people that are skinny as well as fat. But when you do have excess amounts of body fat, that does heighten the potential health complications that will crop up down the line.
Obviously, being overweight has a massive implication on one's overall health. As weight and body size increases, so too does the risk of developing life-threatening conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and certain cancers. Sadly, this is not a myth. It's not something out there just to scare us, it's a fact.
So that goes right at those people out there that say that there's health at any size and it doesn't matter how big you are, you're still healthy.
Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy, and I am 100% glorifying obesity.
No.
If, like me, you are overweight, the single biggest favour you can do for yourself is reduce your risks by getting down to a healthier weight.
I'm going to the gym so I don't get fat.
Okay, fat phobia.
Fat phobia? I'm just afraid of gaining weight.
You're scared of becoming fat.
Yeah.
That's literally fat phobic.
What?
No one's telling you to be super skinny. No one's saying to become a bodybuilder. We're just talking about getting close to a healthier average body weight. You get so many wins back.
Now, while cycling by itself has amazing health benefits, the one sure way to shedding a few kilos is to eat sensibly and healthily. Weight loss is actually 80% diet and only 20% exercise. So you can ride your bike until the cows come home, but if you don't watch what you eat as well, you won't really see any improvements. Now, this is where I personally have been going wrong, and why I'm also trying to change my eating habits.
Firstly, shouts out to him for actually showing other food other than oatmeal. I'm happy that he showed some tasty looking food, because if you're someone overweight watching, please know that you can make changes to your lifestyle without having to just settle for eating bland basic food. You can make low calorie, high protein meals that are quite tasty at home that you will still enjoy. So I'm happy he at least showed that as well, because you often just see people eating the most miserable looking food and it's not going to entice anybody into eating it. So yeah, that is something you should definitely learn. It's probably one of the biggest factors I'd say in losing weight, is learning how to cook low calorie, high protein meals that you enjoy so you don't crave binging. But getting back to his actual point, when he was talking about the potential health complications that come along with being overweight, I'm gonna leave that where it is for now, because I think that's almost undebatable. But there are many people out there on the overweight side that will still say that they've gone to the doctor and everything and their blood work's perfect and they're perfectly healthy.
And as someone who's worked out now for consistently over the last year, who has like perfect blood work, perfect blood pressure,
I don't believe in that, but if you do, then fair enough. So in that regard, I'm not even going to sit here and debate that bit. But what I will say is something you definitely should, and I suggest and recommend you think about, is all these small quality of life improvements that you kind of lose when you're really overweight. And in the last video, a lot of people like the story I shared about the overweight person that managed to lose down weight, and she was super ecstatic about being able to go into a busy car park and park her car in most space without being really worried about being scared that she won't be able to squeeze out of the car because the gap's too tight. Little things like this are really, really small, and you probably think, oh, that's nothing. But because they happen so frequently when it comes to a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis in your life, they are quite important in my opinion. And there's many of these, there's hundreds of these little things across the whole thing. Running for a bus, running for a train, in general, keeping up with your kids, as there are many, many benefits and quality of life improvements you get back when, or sometimes, and for the first time if you've never had it before, if you've always been overweight. Another simple one would be having better joint health. All the years of carrying that excess body weight, that will take a toll on your joints. You may not feel it in your 20s, you may not even feel it in your 30s.
I love you so much. Thank you so much for keeping me happy, for keeping me alive. Thank you.
But when you get to 40s and 50s, all them years of carrying that excess weight will begin to kick in. You may have the very few anomalies where maybe they don't get it, but for the majority, you are going to start feeling it. And if you start losing that weight off, your body will thank you. But if that doesn't do it for you, I'm not saying this is guaranteed all the time, but let's be real. Many people that are quite overweight may not feel the best about themselves. And as you begin to lose down that weight, you will start building a little bit more confidence and just feeling happier in yourself. And that's not me saying that if you're super overweight, you should be depressed and should not be happy. No, but many people out there, in the video I covered not too long ago as well, covers that a lot of people in that realm, even when they put up a false front and they make it seem like everything's great, deep down a lot of them don't feel the best about themselves when they look in the mirror.
It took me 36 years to realize that I had pretty much destroyed myself and I was tired of it.
So that was a snippet from the previous video that I did, and that was Dave. Check out his channel if you haven't already, or check out that video. And more or less, he was just someone that's quite overweight, that's more or less mentioning how his mental health and his whole life, he feels like he's somewhat ruined because he hasn't took control of his eating habits and his exercise regimen, and he's trying to improve now. So if you can slowly but surely improve those things, you may start feeling better mentally as well as physically. So in all, I do believe you can be fat and fit, but don't get that misconstrued with being healthy, because that's a different ballpark in itself. So I would personally still recommend, even if you are someone that's overweight and you're fairly active and you can move around, you can lift stuff, you're pretty strong, I will still keep an eye on your overall health as well. Make sure you're not just focused on the engine and you're servicing the whole vehicle, aka your body. And if you're someone right now that's maybe not active at all yet, but you're overweight, and you're looking to try and make some changes, remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Do not try and nail everything from day one and lose rapid amounts of weight, because the more pressure and stress you put on your journey, the more likely you are to probably quit because of the stress. It's better to try and make loads of gradual changes over time and be consistent with them, and a year, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you will potentially look like a different human. And for those of you that's already been through this, like in the last video, please comment down below. I want you to motivate these people to make sure that they stick with it too, and just share your journey as well. And if you are someone here that's overweight looking to make those changes and you need some tips, be sure to check out these videos up here. I'll make sure they're really informative and they really will help you on your journey.